What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. It is once again the time of year when Holiday Cup comes around in the Go Bad League, and this meta is always so different, it seems. Basically, every single year, different Pokemon come out on top, but one of the things I think in this current meta is that the Ice types, thanks to all of the Ice type buffs, are going to be very powerful. One of those Ice types I haven't really tested out much yet this season is going to be Shadow Walrein, getting both a Powder Snow buff as well as Icicle Spear getting more damage. This Pokemon should be pretty fun to use, and I'm using a very hard meta, Unova and Stunfisk as well as Wigglytuff core here. Let's see what this team can do. First game of the day, we're going to see our Ufisk in the lead up against an Aurorus. Okay, well, this is not, like, amazing, I would have to say, but it is playable. I have Mud Bomb, they have Weather Ball as well as Powder Snow, so they're going to do a lot more damage to me than I will to them. But I should be able to get a shield here, potentially, or a decent amount of damage, depending on what they want to do. Weather Ball is going to hurt, but I know I survive it. Ufisk is pretty bulky, right? That's the one good thing about Unova and Stunfisk. They're 4 away from their next Weather Ball, so keep that in mind. They do let that go. I'm actually going to swap into my Walrein. It might be a strange play, but they need to go for a Meteor Beam to do any real damage to us here. So potentially if I swap out, maybe I can have a bit more play with my Walrein here. And we end up baiting out a Jellicent in the back line. Now, this isn't an amazing matchup to be in, but it is very playable here, because Earthquake is going to hurt quite a bit if they let it go, which they do end up doing. Alright, they're at 6, and they threw on alignment, so I can shield this up, I think, right now. I don't know what's going to be in the back line. This is my first battle in this meta, so honestly, it's kind of up in the air what even is good right now, so I guess we'll find out. Icicle Spear should get a knockout here, maybe a shield. They're 1 away from a Shadow Ball. Okay, they do let that go. And either we see that Aurorus come back in, or potentially their third Pokemon. Okay, it is Aurorus that comes back in here. And this might be a strange play, but I'm going to just double shield my Shadow Walrein. I think I can Powder Snow this down, and once this is out of the way, I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit better for my Ufisk, or potentially my Walrein to have play. And we see a Wigglytuff as their final Pokemon, which is very playable right now. I have a lot of neutral damage I can get against this Pokemon. I have my own Wigglytuff as well, so I think we're in a decent spot. I don't think I get another Icicle Spear off here. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to go for this Icicle Spear now and swap out into my own Wigglytuff and see what they want to do. I need to land a Swift into this Wigglytuff to win. If I land a Swift, that should be game over. But they might be able to go for like a catch as well, which could be a little bit scary. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a bait here, or it's not even a bait, but like an Icy Wind, right? Just to lower my damage output, which is exactly what we end up seeing. I'm going to go instantly for the Swift, because I feel like at this point, you know, they're not going to be able to catch just yet. Swift going to come through. Our opponent does have to take the damage here. And now, oh, I mean, honestly, I'm so fine getting the charm damage against that as well. That could have been a little bit of a tricky Pokemon to take out in the endgame anyway. But now I get a full charm down. I have another Swift loaded, which should knock out the opposing Wigglytuff. I might have just won that CMP as well. And despite a little bit of a scary lead matchup here, it's looking like a 3-ball flex. Yeah, Swift knocks out that Wigglytuff. Shadow Walrein on the safe swap, even against Jellicent, not too bad. Oh my goodness, we got Trent on our second battle of the Holiday Cup. Oh boy, what is he going to run? Nothing good for us to see. I'm actually going to swap out, though. Shadow Walrein is honestly not as bad as you'd think into Dunsparce, so I'll just bring this in here and build up some energy. You can see these Powder Snows already have put him down, you know, a little bit of HP, right? Powder Snow as well as Icicle Spear did get buffed in this season, so that's very helpful for this matchup specifically. Man, I cannot speak the English language sometimes, I swear. But that's fine. You don't need to speak English to play the Go Bad League. All you need to do is tap your screen. Alright, Icicle Spear doesn't quite get the one-shot. And the good news is, if he wants to throw in good timing, he does have to let me get this next move off first, and he does end up doing that. So, he's 3 away from his next attack. 2 away from the next attack now. So I should be able to shield this up, and potentially here, either get the final shield or a knockout against this Dunsparce. Let's see what he does. The problem is, like, I could try to go for a catch here, but it's a very risky play to make. Oh, he just lets that go. Okay. In comes a Ninetales. That's a very Trent Pokemon to see right here. I don't know what's going to be in the backline, so it could be the case where my Unova and Stunfisk might just not be in a good spot in this game, but it could also be the case where maybe, you know, it could be good in the backline. You know, so it's like a 50-50 here. I'm just going to bring in my Wigglytuff, charm this down, Hopefully Charm it down, that is. And we'll see what the final Pokemon's gonna be. It could be like an Altaria or something. Maybe that's why he didn't bring it into my Walrein. Dazzling Gleam's gonna hurt quite a bit. We do survive it, though. And we get a full... Oh, we don't quite get the Charm down, but we can save some energy and swap into Ufisk, which is gonna maybe be helpful. We see a Shadow Sableye in the back. We'll see how this matchup goes, though. Oh, man, this is gonna be pretty close. Because I can outpace this here, but I don't know if it's gonna be just enough to survive. And I'm not quite at the Icy Wind, I don't think, on my Wigglytuff, am I? I think I'm one away, but if I have the Icy Wind, I win the game. If I don't have it, then obviously I don't guarantee a win. We'll see what's going to happen here. You get the shield, makes sense. Oh, he instantly throws? Interesting. Maybe he feels he can Shadow Claw down my Wigglytuff here, but I don't think he quite can. No, not yet. I'm just one charm away from the Icy Wind here. And because of that, we're actually able to get the knockout on the Sableye. No worry about the foul play whatsoever, because he didn't overfarm against our Stunfisk. Wigglytuff able to close out that game. Love to see it. All right, next game here. Hopefully we can pick up an easier lead than we've been seeing. No, we cannot. It's going to be the Shadow Venusaur. Unironically, one of the worst things I could see here. Wasn't really expecting this Pokemon today, not going to lie. Okay, but honestly, I think this isn't terrible for us right now. Because if I get shields down here, which I'm expecting to be able to, then maybe I can still make something happen with my Ufisk up energy. Alright. They could go for a Psychic Fangs bait here. But I'm gonna shield. Oh, of course they freaking bait us. That is unfortunate. But well played. The bait now allows him to get a second move off here, which is not what I wanted to see, honestly. Wow, they double Psychic Fangs? What is that play? Okay, dude. 2, 3. I can't believe they did that. If I called one of those moves, that would have been really bad for them, but the fact I shielded both, obviously, that's pretty good for them now. Alright, we need them to shield this. Okay, they do shield. Alright, is this a good play? Dude, I don't know. But I caught an Aura Wheel. Maybe it's good for us. Maybe it's really bad for us. Dude! I guess that makes sense. They don't need to go for anything else here. But still, I can't believe they're just like, that's the only move they're capable of throwing. Smart play for them, though, to overfarm energy here. That's going to make it really awkward for me now, because they're going to be able, if they want to have back-to-back attacks coming out of this matchup. And that's all they really need, right? To win this game. I have to hope they're not at back-to-back here. Okay, they're not just yet. So I can knock this out, potentially, with an Icicle Spear. I have to hope, though, that somehow my Wigglytuff sweeps this game. I'm going to swap it in and see what comes in. Okay, hold on. That's a good start. They're really weak to Dark-type, or Fairy-type damage, rather. So maybe we can win this? The only issue is Morpeko is still around. I don't know if I can charm it down. Maybe I should have saved energy just in case. Okay, no, just one charm is all we need. And while they can clear their debuff, Mandibuzz is so bad into Wigglytuff. Okay, we're seeing only the worst leads right now, but somehow we're not losing to them quite as much as you might expect, so I guess maybe this team's kind of good. Okay, next battle here. Can I get a good lead, please? Stunfisk into Wigglytuff. You know, I guess, given the leads we've seen so far today, I'll take it. I've seen much, much worse. And I can dance around this if I need to here, which I imagine probably would be a good idea, just because Icy Wind obviously will lower my attack stat. It'll make it so I'll do quite a bit less damage every single move I throw here with my Unova Stunfisk, that is. So we'll try our best to just dance around this, maybe. I don't want to be... Like, I could have caught an Icy Wind. That would have been a really easy catch. But I don't want to be debuffed on the swap-in, so I'm just going to let them go for the Icy Wind here and then swap out into my Walrein, hoping that, you know, the debuff clear, as well as the extra damage here I can get. Oh my goodness. Shadow Ampharos, that is crazy. We're seeing some insane teams right now. But I'm hoping that this ability to reset my Ufisk is gonna come up clutch in the back line. Or, okay. Well, they're one away from back-to-back attacks right now. I'm just gonna no-shield this, honestly. Because I can come back in here with my Ufisk and just snipe down this, Ampharos. Alright. I didn't want to take a Brutal Swing. I'm expecting that to be their secondary move, but maybe they were on something else. Oh, they actually shield that? Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, they threw a move after 2 more Volt Switches after the Trailblaze, so obviously it will be a Brutal Swing. I'm going to do 3 and throw. Oh. Oh, they swap? Okay. Well, this is going to be an interesting game. That was 6. There's a chance they're going to go for a Brick Break here. I'm going to no shield. Yep, okay, good thing I didn't shield that. This is still going to be a really weird game. Okay, they throw an alignment after another 6 Sucker Punches. That almost certainly guarantees to me that this will be another Brick Break, and yeah, that is exactly what we see here. I'm going to Swift him, knock him out, and I mean, at this point, it's going to be down to the wire how this game plays out. Alright, my defense is -2 right now, which is not ideal, but I think my Unnovan Stunfisk should be able to come in now and start threatening a lot of HP off that Wigglytuff, but it's going to be closer than I'd like, because I'm pretty low on HP myself. And I don't know if I can quite get the Thundershock down before they charm us down here. I hope that I can, but I don't think I will be able to. If I survive 2 charms, I win. Ah, man. I needed to bank energy here, but the problem is, like, I was at -2 defense. I had to swap out. And if I gave this thing any extra energy, I probably would have lost this game too, just because they would have outpaced me to a Swift. Ah, man. GG's. At least I respect the Ampharos there. Okay, next opponent. We've been getting some tricky leads so far. Hopefully we can get a good one. And yeah, I gotta say, that is one of the best leads I could see here. Unironically, my whole team has played against this. Even my Wigglytuff's honestly not that bad. Okay. I don't think an Icicle Spear quite knocks out from there, so I'm just gonna overfarm. Because Shadow Walrein, despite the debuff to my attack stat here, it's still gonna put in so much damage against a Talonflame. Let's see what they do. They likely let this go, but I guess there's a chance they shield this up if they want to try to get a second debuff into me, but I would be very surprised to see that. Alright, big Icicle Spear. Yeah, we get the knockout. Honestly, without the buff to Ice-type damage, I'm almost certain that wouldn't have been enough. We get another Icicle Spear. We're actually just 2 more away from a third Icicle Spear, which is kind of crazy, right? That's the pacing of this Pokemon for you. Wow, that is a debuffed Icicle Spear, still doing about 60% of a Talonflame's HP. And we're already at the next one. And they're still 1 away from their move. My Powder Snows even, despite the debuff, are adding up. So they're going to have to start shielding. And yeah, we do get a shield. They can't farm us down. They have to throw energy. This Talonflame is not having a good time right now. And honestly, Cradily is like one of the biggest core breakers that Ufisk plus Wigglytuff could see. Honestly, a really bad Flame Charge by them there. Okay, I was going to say, because they're going to swap out, right? They're not going to stay in. They don't even stay in the game. They just top left. They are out of here. Okay, okay. Like 4 really tricky games. We actually did win 4 of those. And then the 5th game was like really easy. We won 3 of the 4 tricky games. But then we won the easy game too, which is good. 4-1, not too bad. Let's keep it going. Okay, next opponent. Unnovan Stunfisk into Burret. Alright. Well, we're a little bit soft to this Pokemon here. Although, because Brick Break might be the moveset of choice in this meta, it might honestly not be as bad for Ufisk as it is normally. But if they're on the standard moveset, then it is, a little bit worse. Let's see how this is going to go. Mud Bomb should be pretty neutral against him, obviously. I think 3 will knock out over time. Alright. Well, that's enough energy for a Trailblaze, so potentially they are going for that. But as you can see here, even just after the Thundershock damage and the Mud Bomb, we are putting them pretty low on HP. Yeah, there's the Trailblaze. They're not running the fancy moveset, but man, I think they have a really bad Furret here, because my Thundershocks are doing way more damage than I think they have any right to be doing right now. But I don't know if that's like... I'm just assuming this has got to be a bad Furret, right? There's no way this is normal. We'll no-shield this. It could be a Swift, but they might just go Trailblaze to ramp up their attack a little bit more. Yeah, just Trailblaze. I'll come in Wigglytuff. I didn't really want to come in Wigglytuff here because obviously they're going to have a counter for it right now, but I don't want to take double boosted Sucker Punch damage. And honestly, like, sure, Talonflame's not great for Wigglytuff, but Swift here is going to do quite a bit of chip damage, potentially enough to put them into a range where I could Powder Snow them down. Yeah, so they no-shield that, and they are one away from their next attack here. But, I mean, my Powder Snow damage is going to add up quite a bit. They might Flame Charge, they might not even have Flame Charge, though, saying they're not the Shadow Talonflame. Oh, it is? Okay, Flame Charge, that's fine. And now I can get my shield back here, and yeah, we can see that my fast move pressure here is adding up quite a bit against this Talonflame. Icicle Spear either getting a shield or a knockout. We do get the shield. Honestly, I'm kind of fine how this is playing out so far. I should be able to charm that down later on if I need to, which I would imagine, you know, they probably do swap out now. They fly, makes sense. Oh boy, Water Gun Lantern in the back. That's not exactly what I was expecting to see. Well, I think this might just be too bulky. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like this might just be too much for us to beat, but we'll see. We'll save the energy here, come in Wigglytuff, and hope for the best. Man, Lantern is a very bulky pick, right? If I survive this Thunderbolt here, then potentially I can win this game. We are going to take the Thunderbolt, but we get knocked out. So now I need to land the Earthquake, and they might get a move. One turn away. If I landed the Swift, they might have been in Icicle Spear range. If they didn't overfarm perfectly, I would have got that off. That's tragic. That is so close, though. GG's. Okay, we gotta win this one here. No more fooling around. Stunfisk into Shadow Giratina. Oh boy. I mean, I have two Dragon Answers in the back, so we'll swap out here. And hope that they don't have a hard counter for us. Well, they're staying in, and I gotta imagine that's gotta be good for me, right? Luckily, Giratina's a pretty slow-pacing Pokemon now, so they're never gonna be able to outpace us, although they could go for, like, Ancient Power and Boost, and that would be annoying. But I don't imagine that's gonna happen, right? Ancient Power, just 1 in 8 chance. It boosted, but they swapped. Okay. Of course they boosted. Why wouldn't they boost? Oh, he bait this out, which is actually pretty nice to see as well. They're at a payback right now. If I could, I would love to swap back into my Stunfisk, but they're not going to let me. Oh. Okay. They might have miscounted a little bit here. I actually get a CMP on this next Icicle Spear, which does end up drawing a shield. Okay, well, I think I'm fine here just going for a no-shield now, farming all the way down with my Ufisk. And then, honestly, 2 Mud Bombs at this point might just be enough to knock out that Giratina. Let's see what they want to do, though. Oh, well, if you do that as well, then I come in freaking Wigglytuff into Giratina, and that's also very fine by me. I mean, Air Cutters aren't going to do anything to Wigglytuff, so this is looking pretty good for me so far. Ancient Power is going to maybe boost. You can boost this time, I wouldn't care. Okay, yeah, goodbye, Giratina. And now I have so much energy. Yeah, okay, nice. I mean, I understand why they didn't want to give me a farm down there, but they got kind of unlucky that I'm a dirty Wigglytuff user. Okay, next game. Stunfisk into Cradily. Okay. Don't necessarily love seeing this lead, but I feel like we can dance around it a little bit. I'm going to hope they don't have an instant hard counter to us here. So I'm bringing in my Walrein. And yeah, I mean, I got to admit, that is not even remotely a counter to Walrein. Especially when throwing on bad energy, or bad timing, that is. Giving me a lot of free energy. Alright. I guess the one sad thing is my Wigglytuff is not in this matchup. But man, my Walrein's gonna put in a lot of work here, it looks like. I'm gonna overfarm here because I feel like, and as we did just see there, I feel like they're just gonna give us like an extra sneak every single time that they throw the move. I don't know if they are throwing on good timing here. So now I have back-to-back attacks. And if they shield this, honestly, it's gonna get pretty dicey for them. They do shield. And I think they're 2 away from their next Shadow Punch at this point. This should get a knockout, potentially. Or a shield, okay. So I think I can shield this up, actually. Get a full farm down. I think that 3 more Powder Snows knock out before their next Shadow Punch is reached. But if not, you know, maybe I'll have to make a catch. Yeah, we do just farm all the way down. What's about to come in here? Alright. I'm not going to stay in. As much as I'd love to, that just doesn't feel like the right play. You know, we need to be able to save that energy on our Walrein. And it looks like they are staying in with their Wigglytuff here too. So luckily, Walrein on the safe swap is actually almost uncontested in this game. And they let the Icy Wind land on the Wigglytuff. No catch happened there or anything. So at this point, I think they're in a lot of trouble. But we'll see what they can do. Because they still have to throw energy, I think, to knock out my Wigglytuff here. And if they don't, then I can just go for this Swift here and put them into Icicle Spear range. My lose condition is like a 1-turn lag happening this game. Okay, I'm not going to like risk swapping in my Walrein right there because it wasn't like an instant swap in. There's a chance I could have like 1-turn lagged myself and got sniped down, so we'll just let Wiggly go. And at this point, even Stunfisk should win the game. We'll swap in Ufisk. Yeah, okay. You know, we don't care about those Cradily core breakers, because I guess there wasn't an Annihilape in the backline. If there was, and a Walrein did go down, that could have been worse. Okay, next game. Stunfisk into Shadow Annihilape. Okay. The thing is, I don't actually like to see this Pokemon on my Stunfisk, but I like to see it... Whoa. Okay. I was gonna say, I would much rather see it here than on my Walrein, and if they're gonna swap out and give me a good matchup with my Walrein, that is very fine by me. But it also is a little bit scary they swapped. Like, that means they're pretty confident, potentially, into my Stunfisk, right? So, that isn't the best news out there. Okay. I'll shield this up. I want to get some shields down here if possible this game. Okay. Well, what do we think's in the backline then? It could be like an ice type, right? That would make a lot of sense. 3. Okay. They get 3 counters, but I get my Wigglytuff now into the Annihilape. Okay. Honestly, as far as annoying Pokemon go, I think that's pretty playable. Because I should get 2 Mud Bombs off here. But Mud Bomb's not gonna one-shot. So that could be bad. Let's see, though. What do they do? And what do I do? And how does this play out? I attempt a CMP there. They don't actually fall for it, which is a pretty smart play by them. Because if they did end up falling for that CMP, then I think I'd get to another Mud Bomb here. Honestly, I think I might just anyway. Yeah, I do, actually. Hold on. Why am I so bulky? Stunfisk, holy crap. Who cares if Ice Punch and Powder Snow were buffed in previous seasons? When you can just out-bulk it anyway, and then come in Wigglytuff and tap your screen on RPS. Okay, okay. Nice. Alright, next opponent. I think this might be the last game in the set here. Stunfisk into Whimsicott. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'll swap out here, and we'll see what we can do with our Walrein. Yikes, we are not getting the most fortunate alignment right now. But potentially, maybe we'll get some shields here, saying my damage is pretty efficient against them. Could be an Obstruct, I guess. They built up to 7, but no, it's just a Cross Chop. They can probably counter us all the way down, which definitely is not ideal. But we'll see what they do. Oh, man, no! That's like the worst case scenario. The 1 HP. So they get as low as possible. Like, man, I would have loved if I got extra energy here on my Ufisk, but no, I don't get, like, any energy here. And they get the perfect farm down. Luckily, I can save a move, potentially, on my Stunfisk, and maybe it's another fighter in the back, and Wigglytuff is the core breaker that I need it to be. And I mean, if I'm being honest here, they are staying in. So there is a chance at that. I'm going to shield this up. I think I have to at this point. It's a Seed Bomb, so I didn't need to shield that, but, I mean, I need to knock this out as quickly as I can, or at least neutralize it to a point where maybe my Stunfisk can win this game. I'm expecting Annihilape, I guess, in the back at this point. After that debuff, I do believe I survive a Moonblast. Maybe 2 Seed Bombs as well. I'm not sure if that's the case, though. Okay, yeah, Moonblast does not knock us out. Annihilape comes in, which, honestly, they don't take that final charm. If the last charm landed, I think we win this game. The fact it didn't, though, and the fact that they are just outside of Mud Bomb range and Ice Punch basically one-shots us here, that's going to lose it for us, isn't it? Oh, man, if I could have Mud Bombed this to knock him out, I think I would have had a chance here. I figured it was double fighters when I saw an Obstagoon, but honestly, even with the next charm, I don't think that's quite enough damage. Dang it. Okay, well, GG's. That was a lot of core breakers in that game. Honestly, kind of struggled to pick up any leads with this team. But it still had a lot of good neutral play here. Just not quite enough to win us that match there. We really didn't pick up a lot of good leads here today, but you don't need them when you're able to dance around with Walrein. And honestly, Wigglytuff, well, I don't love this pick too often. It is a Pokemon in this meta that does seem pretty safe. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.